welcome to Doni Jones Live, where we have a real conversation on building a beautiful life. Our goal on the show is to introduce you to great people in our community that are doing wonderful things, but maybe don't necessarily get the credit that they deserve, or maybe they're doing great things and I think you need to know about them. And that's exactly what's going on today. We have a guest today that is taking her life and using it to serve others and making a difference in people's lives that really need her. And I've met her through church, and not only have I found out that she's a wonderful person, she's also a big giver, just a lover of people, and somebody that has taken her whole spirit and used it to serve humanity. And I'm talking about my friend Jillian Palmiato. Did I say it right?
That's right. Yes. That was very good.
Okay. I know you're sitting there like, don't butcher my name. So,
well, your name is easy. Doni Jones.
Exactly. Doni Jones, right. Exactly.
My maiden name was Brown. So
okay.
my grandmother passed away not even still knowing how to say my last name.
Oh, no.
Right? So don't feel bad.
Okay, well, I don't feel bad now. But you know how it is with your friends. You're like, you call them by their first name, and then when it comes to their last name, you're like, wait a minute, what was your last name again? So, But Jillian, tell us a little bit about what you do, or if you want to, you can talk a little bit about how you got into the ministry and came to be this amazing woman who's making a difference in children's lives.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But so yeah, I'll just kind of tell you about how Unlimited kind of got started at Mount Perrin. So I've been a member of Mount Perrin for about 20 years now, and so I met my husband. We started going to Mount Perrin while we were dating, and got married there, raised our children there, and all of that kind of stuff. And I was in school where I got my bachelor's degree in elementary education, and then 1 year I got the inclusion class. And an inclusion class is a typical class that you have of first graders or whatever age group, and they have some special education students that are included with the other typical students. And,
oh man, I thought you were talking about black people.
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
special ed.
I know.
We did have some black people in there too.
I know.
It's very diverse.
Exactly. Go ahead.
So anyway, but I had moved to a new school. They asked me if I wanted the inclusion class, and at the time I didn't even know what that was. And they said, I was like, well, what is that? And they said, oh, well, you'll have some students that have some individualized plans that you need to teach to, but you'll get an extra teacher. Sign me up for that. If I can get some extra help in my classroom, I'll take it. So it was that year that I had a group of special education students in my class that I kind of discovered that I had this gift for working with kids with special needs, for just being able to help them get concepts that they had a hard time with. And I discovered that I was particularly good with kids with behavior issues. Okay. And so by the end of the year, the other first grade teachers would just send all of their behavior issue kids to me.
Where were you when I was a kid?
Right? I know. And I just treated them the same way I treated my own 2 children at home, and I just didn't see them any different as anybody. And I was like, listen, I don't play. You need to quit acting a fool, and let's just move on and finish the school day. And they responded to it.
That's right.
And so I just really realized that I had a gift for it, and so I decided to go back and get my master's degree in special education, and went into that position. Who was the person who went into the classroom? So I did that for about 5 years, and then I was working in the public school system, and I just kind of felt the Lord kind of leading me and calling me to do something different, but I wasn't real sure what it was. And so I started kind of reaching out to some of the pastors at our church, trying to get like a meeting, or really just to kind of seek some godly counsel. Yes. And what does it mean to be in ministry? Do you have to have a degree for that? You got to go to school to work at a church? I don't ever see job postings for churches. Like, how does that work?
Like, how do you get a job?
I don't know how to get my foot in the door. And so I everything kept falling through for about a couple of months, and I resigned in February, because with the school system you have to tell them early on in the year what your intention is for the next school year.
Wait a minute. Did you already have a job with the church before
I did
you
not.
resigned?
I did not. No.
See, now that's
so it was
walking
very
by
scary.
faith, y'all. I wish y'all know. That is walking by faith. That's what I mean. But that's also the reason why I wanted you on the show. Yeah. Obviously, we want to talk about Unlimited, but I just think your story is amazing. And you've talked to me a little bit about this, that you had a vision for something. Yeah. You maybe didn't have all the answers, but you made the first step.
I had like one answer. That was
you know
it.
what? But when you're walking by faith, sometimes that's all you need.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny to me when people say they're walking by faith, but they need all the steps first.
Right, I need the whole plan.
I need the plan.
Then I
first.
walk by faith.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work like that. So you had the first step.
Yes.
You're getting ready to quit your job, or you did turn in your notice.
Yes.
And then what happened?
So I turned in my intent form telling them that I wasn't going to come back from the next year. So I did have, I at least had a job until May, but from February until May, I really did not know what the Lord had planned for me. I literally only had the one step of, you're supposed to leave. Wow. And I was like, okay. So,
Don't you love how the Lord works?
Yeah. So I, did my due diligence, and I would go home and I would look on the computer and I would post resumes and look for different job opportunities and really walk through this 4-month journey of kind of rediscovering myself and the things that I liked, because I had been teaching for 12 years and I really had gotten to a place where I was everybody's teacher, I was my kid's mom, and I was my husband's wife.
Yeah.
And I had kind of like lost who I was personally and who God really created me to be.
Yeah.
And so it really gave me a good 4 months to really seek the Lord and go, okay, Lord, I know you created me for a plan and a purpose. Yes. So if it wasn't for any of these other people or my family or anything, what do I even want to do? What do I even like? Because I don't even know.
Like, and what would you have me do?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so I just kept praying that, I kept saying to the Lord, I like to talk a lot, but I don't listen well. So I need it to be like a neon sign. Okay, like I need a clear sign of what it's going to be. And if I try to start something and it's not the thing, I need you to just immediately close the door and just not let it happen. Like, don't even get my hopes up.
Don't give me hints.
Don't give me like these little, breadcrumbs.
Exactly. I need you to let me know if this is the right way or this is the wrong way.
Right. Yeah. So he continued to just close doors and close doors and close doors for every path that I thought I was supposed to go down, including getting a meeting with any of the pastors at the church.
Yeah.
And now I realize, in being behind the scenes of a church, it is ridiculous to think that all pastors are on a church campus all at the same time during the week. It doesn't happen. So, word to the wise: anybody wants a meeting with a pastor, don't expect to get a meeting with a couple of them at the same time, because it ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
And so anyway, I continued to just kind of walk through this path and walk go through this journey with the Lord. And 2 weeks before the school year ended, it was the middle of May, and I'm every day going, Lord, I don't know if you know, but my paychecks are about to run out. I don't know if you
don't you love how
noticed
Lord
that
does
part. So anyway, so I get a call out of the blue from our children's pastor 2 weeks before the school year ended, and one of our worship leader for our children's church had gotten another position as a children's pastor at another church. And he called me up and he said, I know you're leaving your job. I know you've been trying to get in touch with us, and I just kind of wanted you to come in so I could kind of check your heart and see what it is that you're looking for, because we have a worship leader position open.
Do you have a music background?
Well, I sang in the choir for years, so I can sing. I can carry a tune, I don't have a music degree or anything like that, but he knew that I was good with kids and he knew I could sing. So I guess that, and he said, I've been really praying about who should fill this position, and the only person I can think of is you. And I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to get to still work with kids. I'll get to be at my church. I get to do music, which I love. And that was kind of a side thing for me. And so I was like, okay.
Gets it from your son.
Yes, both of my kids definitely get it from me. Anthony's family is not musical at all. So they did get that gene from me, I'll say.
Of course.
But so I was like, oh, Lord, this is great. You finally opened a door for something that was completely unexpected. Had no idea that wasn't even really pursuing that thought process. But he opened a door. So I go in for the interview, and we begin, just kind of talking about why I'm leaving the school system. So the children's pastor did not even realize that I taught special education. So I started telling him my frustrations with the special education and kind of the bureaucracy of public education, and
Can we
how
pause right there for a second? because I got to breathe. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No,
I told you I like to talk, right?
And you're so good at it. No, what keeps popping up in my head that I wanted you to go back to, and then we'll get back to your story, is that you understood that those closed doors were closed by God.
Yes.
Can you talk to people about, because sometimes people are like, well, I feel like God's not answering my prayers. Can you talk to people about how sometimes that's Him actually guiding you by closing the doors?
Yeah, and totally, when He closes the door, not only is He guiding you into what it is that He has planned for you already that you can't see, it is so much bigger and better than anything you could have ever imagined.
That's right.
And, and I know, the amount of disappointment that I experienced in those 4 months when all of these doors kept closing, and I was like, Lord, I have to have a way to help provide for my family. What are you doing?
Exactly.
And I couldn't see it. Like, I couldn't see past the doors closing. And it was literally just a self-discipline of constantly refilling my kind of like my hope, and my faith, and walking in faith.
It was discipline and consistency. You couldn't just rely on one day of going, okay, Lord, I'm have faith in you. It's a daily walk.
Yeah, and sometimes it was an hourly walk, and I would, the amount of people too that would come to me, and faith-based people who were strong Christians, who were in my school, that were my go-to people for going to them for prayer or whatever. They would come in and go, gosh, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, get out of here with that doubt. What are you doing?
Exactly. You're messing this up. Yeah.
So, and every single time I just decided, and that's the thing, you have to choose to make the decision to just have faith. Even when you don't understand, you don't intrinsically want to have it, you have to make the decision to have it, And I would look at those people and I would say, I don't know what I'm going to do, but God knows.
That's right.
That's all I have to know.
I don't know what I'm going to do,
but God
knows. Because you've got the vision. Because I always tell people that I say it in the same thing, but slightly in a different way. I always say, I know where I'm going. I just don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know God's got my back.
That's exactly right.
He's directing my steps. Well, what are you doing right now? I don't know, but I know.
I don't have to know.
I don't have to know. He just gave me this dream,
right?
And He put it in my heart.
Yeah.
And I know that's the right path. I got a quick story, real quick, and then I'm gonna get back to the story. I'm schizo a little bit. Sometimes you're wondering for a sign that you're doing the right thing. One of my favorite birds in the world is a cardinal. And there was a cardinal sitting right there a few seconds ago. And it's just funny because little things like that will happen where God is letting you know, like, I know I'm in my element and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And if you listen, God will He'll talk.
Yeah.
He'll guide you. He'll give you a sign, or He'll speak a word to you, or you'll see a scripture,
or He'll send a person to send you some encouragement or whatever.
Absolutely.
It is.
Sometimes it is. And it can be a stranger sometimes.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in a grocery store and somebody has said something nice to me and I'm like, okay, Lord, I know that's you.
Right.
Exactly. But back to, but I do want to get back to your story. So you got a meeting with the pastor.
Yes. Yeah. So we were talking about my frustration with the school system and the bureaucracy of, school, and how I was always getting in trouble all the time for advocating for children with special needs, when I was supposed to kind of be on the school side system, and I was constantly fighting against them for my students. They frowned upon that a little bit, and so just a tad. So anyway, I started telling him that, and he was just in shock as I was talking. And I said, I know, you really don't know much about the public school system or whatever. And he said, no, you don't understand. He goes, I have been trying to start a special needs ministry here for 4 years, and everything that I put my hands to just falls apart because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know things about disability. I don't know how to minister to these parents. I don't know what their kids really need. I can't even see how it's supposed to unfold, and I just know we need to do something, but I don't know what to do. And he was like, I was given approval last year to hire somebody for that position, and I would be an idiot not to hire you for that. So that's another little testimony to just the way, kind of the miraculous ways that God works, because I didn't know that I was going in there for that position. The person who called me in for the interview didn't know that I was coming in for that position, and it literally fell in our laps. Like, God did not open the door until He was suddenly ready to open the door.
Well, we're going to talk about those doors in a few seconds.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. I am so blown away by your story. Like I said, I've known you for years, but to hear the passion that you have and to see it to hear the story behind the story, I am just floored and blown away. And I'm so thankful. And I hope you guys are getting something out of this. We're going to take a quick break and come back to Jillian and talk about some of those doors that have opened, and also talk about the opportunities at our church for the children's ministry for special needs kids. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Unlimited is a special needs ministry of Mount Perrin Church. Unlimited is a place where kids, teenagers, and adults can belong to a group, to a church, to Jesus Christ. Unlimited is a place where people with disabilities are part of a community where their God-given gifts are valued and respected. Gifts that make other people feel welcome, talent to worship, ability to serve others. Unlimited is a place where we recognize the importance that people with disabilities play in completing the body of Christ, in completing the whole church. It's a place where we are interwoven into one complete body.
Hi, this is Doni with Doni Jones Live. I would love for you all to join me on June 9th for a Pink Affair. That is being brought to you by Dolls to Divas. I'm one of the sponsors as well as one of the speakers, and we would love to see you there. For more information, hit me up on Facebook for all the particulars, but I would love to see you there.
Hey lady, I'm here to take down your tree.
Don't just hire anybody, you just never know what you might be getting. Don's Tree Service offers quality service and reasonable prices. Call 770-413-TREE and have our professionals come and give you a free quote. After you choose a service, our crew will come out and work safe and efficiently. Our goal is to leave you with a smile on your face and no debris in your yard.
Not just trees we aim to please. 770-413-TREE.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. We are talking to Jillian Palmietto.
That's right.
That's right. I said it again the right way. Well, we're back to talk about how the doors that God has opened for her. But also, I want you to tell the people how to get in contact with you, as far as the children's ministry, the special needs ministry is concerned, and then also talk to the camera about the children that you serve, because we haven't quite mentioned that, and we'll get into that. But just real quickly, if you'll do that.
Okay. Yeah. So if anybody's interested in getting more information about our special needs ministry at Mount Perrin Church, it's called Unlimited Special Needs Ministry, and you can always email me at Jillian P. That's JILLIANP for Palmiotto at mountperrin.com, and that's all spelled out MOUNTPARAN.com.
Awesome. And you specifically, is there an age group with the special needs, or is there a particular...
well, we actually minister, we kind of advertise that we minister to kids from 6 weeks old through 18, but I will be honest with you and tell you that we have kids as old as 25 that are actually coming to our church, because now we're kind of moving into that arena of what to do with young adults and kind of really doing life with families for the long term, because special needs doesn't end when they graduate from high school. So
I'm done at 18.
The diagnosis doesn't magically go away.
No.
So the Lord is kind of moving us now into that arena right now of that kind of season of life with young adults. So basically 6 weeks and up.
Exactly.
There you go.
Bring a 79-year-old autistic grandpa. He'll fit right in.
That's right.
Exactly. So talk to us about the doors that God has opened. We were getting ready to get into that.
Yeah. So so we started the special needs ministry, and I was hired on staff in 2013 with the intent that I would kind of help out with the family ministry part-time and do special needs ministry part-time. And within 6 months, they said, "Oh, this is a lot. You're going to need to be full-time special needs ministry." So we started started out, and when I first came on staff, we had about 20 families that were kind of hit or miss attending our church. They called our church their home church, but for them, sometimes that might mean that they might show up once every 4 months, because that was the most that they could go to any church.
Talk to me about that, because one of the reasons that made me fall so much in love with what you're doing is I remember years ago, one of the things you mentioned to me, because I also volunteer at the church, and I work in the classroom with kids, and so once in a while there would be a special needs kid there, and then you wouldn't see him for a while, and I talked to you about that. Tell me what you told me. Tell our audience what you told me about how sometimes special needs parents don't feel like they have a place.
Because they don't. because a lot of them, have attempted to go to movie theaters, to church, to gatherings, schools. I mean, they try to go all kinds of places, and they are literally told, sorry, but we don't have the resources to do what you need us to do. We don't know how to handle your child. We don't know how to minister to you. We don't have the volunteers that we need, that it's going to take to handle your child's behavior problem. And they are literally, there are so many really sad stories that I have come across over the years of people who have attempted to go to church, and they want so badly to just belong to something that's normal, and they're literally shunned and just turned away. And so it's a very painful thing to walk through that with families, and it's very hard to gain their trust that we're not going to do that to them sometimes. And it is harder for them to get up and come to church on a Sunday morning. It's like I have trouble getting my own 2 teenagers out of the house on time that don't have any disability, so you can imagine what it's like to have a teenager who is wheelchair bound, that's not potty trained, they're nonverbal, they can't brush their own teeth, they can't shower on their own, to get up and to be somewhere by 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
It's hard.
Well, just come to the 11 o'clock service.
That's right. And so
Mount Parent covers it all.
We cover it all. So anyway, we had about 20 families that were coming. Literally only about 5 of those 20 were really coming consistently. And so we started out really just for about 9 months. I just planned and talked to everybody and really got to know those families and the students and the parents and the pastors that they were involved in the ministry areas, all the other volunteers, and tried to just kind of create a big overall picture of how was this going to fit in the culture of our church, and what we already had planned. How could we help support the special needs families going to the regular services that we're already doing? And so we came up with a great plan, and I'm a big visionary, so I kind of had I kind of really just wrote up like a business proposal of what does it look like 6 months from now, what does the launch of it look like, what's it look like 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years down the road. Because I knew that once we started it, the kids weren't going to stop growing, and so we were going to need like a 10-year plan, and on after that. And more were going to come. So we had to plan for the growth. So we started out with about 20, and now we serve about 150.
Wow.
After
Glory be to God.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's such an honor to get to do it. So
that is so awesome.
And the amount of stuff that the Lord has just opened up, again, back to the doors of opportunity that He's opened up, it has literally been, even with launching the ministry and growing it, has literally just been a step by step where God will just bring a thing to me, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I don't know if this is you or if this is my idea, but I'm going to try it.
I'm going to try it.
And if it is not supposed to be, then I need for you to shut it down, and I need you to shut it down quick. And He's done that with a couple of things that we've tried to start, and but for the most part, most of the things that He has kind of brought to my attention, or brought kind of in a creative idea or whatever, it has just blossomed. And so when we started out, we really were only focused on serving, like putting a buddy system in place where every child has a one-on-one.
And them being in our classroom one-on-one. And that's one of the things I will say. I know that we now have a separate, not separate because it's all a part of the church, but we have a beautiful area where not only can they be in the service with the kids, but they also have an area for kids that maybe they don't want to go into the big service, and they've got their own area. So I love the fact that they're in service with the kids if they want to be, and if they don't want to be, they've got an area. Was that did you plan it that way, or did it just kind of fall together where you
No,
decided to come
well,
up with
no,
it?
I didn't plan it that way in the beginning because I just I didn't want too much to change for the families that were already coming.
Yeah.
But then it didn't take me long. For anybody who knows Mount Perrin Church, it's a huge campus. And
Yes.
so it didn't take me but about 3 weeks to figure out that not having our own space was not a good plan. Because I just was running. I got a lot of steps in.
Got your car, so you got your watch on.
I got my watch on, tracking my steps, and just running to put out fires. And,
Yeah.
we would have volunteers standing around with no kids there, or we would have kids with no volunteers.
Yeah.
And so it was just very messy. And so then we decided we needed to kind of create our own space. And so now we do have a separate check-in area for our special needs. And that really allows them to just kind of come in and process, like, okay, I'm at church, I'm not at therapy, I'm not at school, I'm not at home.
I'm at
I have
church.
certain expectations for church to stand up during worship, or, to contain myself during the sermon, or to participate in discussions during small group time or whatever. And so we have two activity rooms, one for younger kids and one for older kids, where they come there to meet up with their buddy for
Yes.
the morning, and then the buddy escorts them to their youth
To
or
the-
children's area
to the
where they
children's
participate in church. We also have a modified classroom, so if there's any part of the service that doesn't work for the student because of their age or their disability, or sometimes the parents are just too nervous to
Yeah.
send them into a large group like that, we can do one-on-one lessons in our
Yeah.
modified classroom. And then we also have this really cool sensory room that is kind of like, I call it like the spa room.
I love
it's
that.
so awesome. and,
I go there.
Right, yes, I go there when I get mad at my colleagues. So I go there just to chill and relax. And
Yeah.
but it's for, when kids are having a hard day, or if
Yeah.
somebody's having an all-out meltdown, which we
Yes.
experience sometimes, or we're having a behavior issue, then
Yes.
we can take them to the sensory room, and it's a place for them to kind of decompress. So
Absolutely. You guys, for any of you guys that do have kids with special needs, or you have a child with special needs, I would implore you to please come visit Mount Perrin and get in touch with Jillian. Once again, how can they get in contact with you?
Email me at jillianp@mountperrin.com, and you can also call the church line and just ask for Jillian at 404-923-8700.
Perfect. Now you have a big event coming up
Yes, we
also,
do.
which
Yes.
is. I cry at the drop of a hat
Right.
anyway, but sometimes I'll see you post something, and when I saw the thing about this event, I was like, oh my God, can I love her anymore? What do you have coming up for our special needs ministry that the people need to know
Okay,
about?
so that would be our special needs prom that we're hosting. It's called the Dream Big Dance, and it's a partnership between us, Mount Pisgah United Methodist Church, and Johnson's Ferry Baptist Church. And the three churches are getting together to host a huge prom at the Georgia Aquarium in the Oceans Ballroom. It's going to be amazing. So we're going to have 500 participants in that dance of people who have disabilities. They have to be 16 and older. So if you know anyone that has special needs that fits that age range, then please tell them to sign up. They can do that at dreambigdance.org. Or if you want an opportunity to volunteer as a buddy or on our hospitality team, then you can do that at the same place, dreambigdance.org. And it's going to be on May 5th from 6 to 9:30 p.m. at the Georgia Aquarium. And it's going to be one amazing night. I can't wait.
And is there a cost to it that the parents need to know?
Well, the participants, the tickets for participants are $15, but it's obviously free for volunteers to attend. So for parents, it's free, and for volunteers, it's free.
That's
and it's just going to be an amazing night of about 1,200 people coming together.
Oh my
In the
goodness.
Oceans Ballroom to put on this thing. We have a live swing band that's going to be there, and we have a buffet of all sorts of Mexican food because it's Cinco de Mayo. and when the band is taking a break, we have a mariachi band that's lined up to walk around and do some mariachi music, and we have the whale sharks and the beluga whales and all of that kind of stuff in the Oceans Ballroom. So it's going to be really cool. I'm excited.
It sounds exciting. And
Yeah.
then after you finish that, you can plan one just for me. and
Yes.
my friends. Exactly.
Well, let's see
'Cause
how
we don't have
it goes
enough
first.
to do.
It might be like, let's get somebody else.
Exactly. Well, what's one of the biggest lessons that you've gotten from this journey with Building Unlimited?
Oh, goodness gracious. By far, give up control. control. Just
Ooh, that's
don't be
good.
afraid to give up control.
Yeah.
Because the more you try to control something and the more that you try to know the whole plan before God lays it out, the more that you're just hindering the pace at which he can open up those doors for you. So the faster you surrender the plans to him, the faster you ask him and truly seek him and go, okay, Lord, I'm ready to give up all the control. I'm ready for just the next step. That's hard for control people. Like me. So the faster you do that, though, the faster you will see growth in your experience, in your circumstance, in your answers to prayer. But it's got to be all about giving up control and truly believing that he has something even better for you that you could ever dream or imagine.
Oh,
so,
goodness.
I
wish we could really somehow.
You need to have me on again to preach.
Oh,
okay?
I am going to have you. You just spoke it into existence. We just need to pick a day.
That's right.
Absolutely. But I mean, seriously, but your life is a testimony.
Yeah.
You know, you are preaching through your life. And I really do want to have you on again because something you said reminded me of what I've been dealing with, even building this show and building our organization. I didn't know anything about TV. I didn't know anything about production. All I know is that I had a customer that wanted a tree cut down. So I'm basically going throughout my day asking God for guidance. I want to build this show where I can highlight people like you and other people in the world that are doing great things, other people in our community that are doing great things. I don't know how to do it, right? So I'm asking the Lord for guidance. He sends me a customer for a tree job. The guy just kind of liked my personality. It was like, you know, you need to write a book. And I was like, well, it's funny you should say that. I've already written one.
Because I have been.
I have been. And he's like, well, you need to get it out there. I was like, well, it's funny you should say that because I'm trying. And so he, you know, this is my book, From Failure to Fabulous. And he's like, well, you know, have you thought about radio? And I was like, well, I've thought about it in the past, advertise. He goes, you need to do a show. And I was like, well, I don't know how to do that. He's like, well, I do. And then all of a sudden, the idea that I had for the show that had been in my mind for years popped back up because I thought it was dormant. I was like, you know what, I don't know how to do that. So, and I run into the producer, which I'm going to put you on the spot. My producer actually came from a customer that I got from just doing what I'm supposed to do and trusting God.
And just being obedient.
Being obedient. I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to do this, but I don't know how. And he's like, okay, just decide. You said it. You just decide to do it.
That's exactly right.
And I decided.
Just make a decision.
And then all of a sudden, God opened doors. You know, and He will continue to open doors. And I hope He continues to open doors for you.
He will.
Oh, yes, He will. Exactly.
He will.
I know He is. Go ahead and tell the people one more time how to get in contact with you, and then we'll close it out.
Okay. Well, you can search Unlimited Special Needs Ministry. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Unlimited MPC. That stands for Mount Perrin Church. Or you can email me at jillianp@mountperrin.com, or you can call us at 404-923-8700.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining the show. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you all for joining the show. And we hope they come to you, and I hope you come to us every week. And once again, I'd like to plant a seed, piggybacking on what Jillian said, give up control. Sometimes when you're trying to control a thing and you don't have all the answers, you have to let go and let God. So my seed for the day, what I'm going to do is just try to plant a seed for you by telling you to let go and let God. Whatever your dream is, put it in God's hands and then let it go. And if He starts to direct your steps, which He will, there's no if, He will start to direct your steps. Follow those steps, and as you follow those steps, your path will start to unfold. But you've got to trust Him. You've got to trust what He's put in you, and you've got to dream big. Once again, thanks for joining us this week. We appreciate it. If you have any feedback or if you need to get in contact with me, you can reach me at donstree, DONSTREE @gmail.com. That's DONSTREE @gmail.com. Or you can reach me online with at my blog at Doni Online. That's DONI online.com. Thanks for joining us and have an amazing week. Bye-bye.